The Douglas A-26 Invader was built for one purpose: controlled violence at high speed. Designed as the successor to the A-20, it entered the war late, but arrived fully matured. Sleek, powerful, and heavily armed, the Invader blurred the line between bomber and attack aircraft. It could fly fast, hit hard, and escape before defenders could react. Pilots often described it as handling more like a fighter than a bomber, which made it deadly in low-level missions. The A-26 operated across Europe and the Pacific, striking rail yards, bridges, supply columns, and airfields. Its strength came from concentration of firepower. With multiple machine guns fixed forward, the Invader could erase targets in a single pass. It was equally effective at night, where speed and surprise mattered more than altitude. What truly defined the A-26 was longevity. It didn't end its story in World War II. The aircraft continued flying in Korea and Vietnam, proving that its design was ahead of its time. Fast, adaptable, and brutally efficient, the Invader became one of the most successful light attack aircraft ever built. The Martin B-26 Marauder entered service with a reputation it never deserved. Early on, its high landing speed and demanding handling caused accidents, earning it dark nicknames. But as crews gained experience, the truth became clear. The Marauder was one of the most survivable bombers of the war. Fast, tough, and well-armed, it could strike targets with precision and return home intact. The B-26 specialized in medium-altitude attacks against bridges, railways, airfields, and supply depots. Its speed made it difficult to intercept, and its structure allowed it to absorb damage that would destroy lesser aircraft. Statistics told the real story. Loss rates were among the lowest of any American bomber. Flying mostly in Europe and the Mediterranean, Marauder crews developed disciplined tactics that turned a difficult aircraft into a lethal one. Once mastered, it became respected, even trusted. The B-26 didn't win affection easily, but it earned respect through results. By the end of the war, it stood as proof that performance, not reputation, decides an aircraft's legacy. The North American B-25 Mitchell was the bomber that proved adaptability wins wars. Medium-sized and twin-engined, it served on nearly every front of World War II. Its most famous moment came early, when B-25s launched from an aircraft carrier to strike Tokyo itself. The Doolittle raid didn't cause massive damage, but it shattered the myth of enemy invulnerability and changed morale on both sides of the war. Beyond that single moment, the Mitchell built its reputation through constant service. It bombed airfields, harbors, factories, and troop concentrations across Europe, North Africa, the Pacific, and Asia. One of its greatest strengths was flexibility. Variants carried heavy bomb loads, while others were packed with forward-firing guns that turned the aircraft into a flying, battering ram. Low-level attack became a signature role. B-25s skimmed treetops and waves, destroying ships, trains, and supply convoys with terrifying accuracy. Crews trusted the aircraft because it was stable, predictable, and forgiving under fire. Damage that would cripple other bombers often failed to stop a Mitchell. The B-25 was not the fastest, nor the largest, but it was present everywhere. The fighting was hardest. That constant presence made it legendary. When historians speak of aircraft that truly shaped Allied air power, the Mitchell is always part of the conversation. The Consolidated PBY Catalina was never built for speed or combat glamour. It was built to stay airborne and to stay searching. As a flying boat, it operated where no runways existed, patrolling oceans for enemy ships and submarines. Its endurance was legendary, allowing crews to remain aloft for hours longer than most aircraft. The Catalina became vital to reconnaissance, convoy protection, air-sea rescue. It found enemy fleets, guided attacks, and saved thousands of downed airmen and sailors. Slow and vulnerable, It relied on distance and awareness rather than speed. Yet its presence changed battles by providing information, often the most valuable weapon of all. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, the Catalina quietly shaped naval warfare. Crews trusted it with their lives, knowing that if help came, it would often arrive in a PBY. Its legacy isn't measured in kills, but in lives saved and battles enabled. The Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress became the symbol of American air power in Europe. Designed as a heavy bomber, it was built to fly high, fly far, and survive relentless enemy fire. Early doctrine believed defensive machine guns could protect it without fighter escort. And for a time, crews paid a terrible price, proving that theory wrong. Once escorted by long-range fighters, the B-17 came into its own. Flying in tight formations, crews delivered massive bomb loads deep into enemy territory. The aircraft earned its name honestly. It could absorb astonishing damage and still remain airborne. Engines shot out, fuselages torn open. Yet many fortresses returned home when logic said they shouldn't. Inside, crews faced freezing temperatures, thin oxygen, and constant danger. Every mission was a test of endurance and discipline. But the B-17 was reliable. It flew mission after mission, wearing down enemy industry and morale. More than just a bomber, the Flying Fortress became a statement. Air power could break an enemy's ability to fight. By war's end, thousands had been built, and their impact reshaped warfare forever. When people imagine the air war over Europe, it is the silhouette of the B-17 they see first.